it's me, Renee. I'm back. And as you can see, this is a Eurovision update. This being the last week of Eurovision, this probably might be my last update before I do a wrap up. I suppose doing a wrap up might be interesting because I read a lot of library reads, but yeah, anyway, I suppose, yeah, wrap up this video. But anyway, there's a few days left of Eurovision. I mean, it ends on Saturday because I suppose, yeah, you can read up until the final starts, I believe. Or does it end? Sorry, does it end on Friday or Saturday? Yeah, ends this week. So anywho, but yeah, so I've read quite a few books now, and since last time I read Pandora's Jar, Woman in Greek Myths by Natalie Haynes, of course to represent Greece. Uh, this book I quite enjoyed. It told a story about how many are there now? Moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Greek Greek people, Greek women in Greek myths. Those both 10 women. One of the chapters, because divided into chapters. One of the chapters is about the Amazons, which is not like one person; it's a lot of a lot of women. But still, a part in this book, I kind of had the experience that some of us have when I read like a book, which I suppose I feel like in a way this probably meant like written for like the audience of like a UK or maybe like a UK or US audience. I suppose firstly because it's written in English, so I suppose like whenever a writer writes a book, they probably have like an audience in mind, even though yes, there's always gonna be people who pick it up and you don't think about it and stuff. And I suppose yeah, I mean people in the States and UK probably know that a lot of people around the world knows English, but I don't really think they think that much about it. Because I suppose it's my fault, and I don't really think it's my fault. Because at times they talk about like as we all know, like words like as we all know, like we learn in school. I'm like or or like wording like uh uh that time in 1994 when this news reporter talked about this and this thing, and I'm like, yeah, I did not know that. I'm in the dark here. I suppose it's not really bad, like being in the dark, because I did like, and that's kind of some of the point of nonfiction at least to like learn stuff. So I do feel like this book quite it gave me new insights, which yeah, again is a good point to nonfiction. And yeah, I suppose it made me feel a bit stupid here and there, but I mean, it did enlighten me in the stuff, so it wasn't like a huge letdown really. And yeah, I would say like at part I was a bit bored. I suppose if that was just kind of me being too shallow. I don't know why I was bored because like most of the book, like I would say like 96% of the book I loved, and then parts of the book was like, yeah, this is kind of boring. So I don't know if that was maybe because I read more or less in one go. I didn't really like. Okay, so this book because I always like I have more books several times. Like so, this book had my purse. So I read on my way to work, but I more or less only read on my way to work. So like for one day, 1 hour each day because it takes half an hour to go to work. Uh, so I suppose maybe because I didn't read it in one sitting because I read it in several days that hurt it. That why would that hurt experience? I don't know. Anyway, that's what happens anyway. But for most part I quite very much enjoy this book. And would I recommend it? Yeah, I think I would. Then we have Det er på tide å reise hjem. Når du holder huet oppe med begge hendene. By Herodis Falsk. And as you can see, this is a Norwegian book. So Herodis Falsk, he's a Norwegian. He's a singer. Well, yeah, I suppose. Okay, so he's a Norwegian comedian. I would mostly call him a comedian, but he's also a singer because like he's written like parody songs and stuff. Like he's a comedian through songs, kind of like Tim Minchin, I suppose in a way. And I feel like he hasn't really done things this last few years, but like now he's I feel like he's in his 80s now. So I suppose even entertainers are allowed to be pensionists. But yeah, this one also came out in 2007. Yeah, seven. And also quite interesting because like part of the book, like he talks about like how people were all on their phones and like were people that much on their phones in 2007? But I suppose even before smartphones, I mean, like in 2005, you had cell phones. You didn't have smartphones, but like you had cell phones, and you had cell phone, um, you had cell phone games and all that kinds of stuff. So I suppose you kind of had people being on their phones, just not in the same way. But yeah, kind of did before smartphones. But yeah, so this is a travel log story or story book. So he's traveled a lot of places. This one, he talks about both places he's been in Norway, but like also places he's been around the world. There's chapters about the UK, chapters about the US, chapters in Spain, chapters in in Norway. So yeah, there's one chapter in Copenhagen. So yeah, lots of different places. But yeah, he's also been to Spain. He has an apartment in Spain. So I used this book for Spain. And yeah, very fun book, and I would say. Like at one point, he like mentioned like everyone over 40 are idiots, which was quite fun because like one of my sisters is over 40. She's like 43 now, and like yeah, I know several people over 40 who aren't that much of an idiot. And I believe also at the time we wrote this, think he was like around 40 himself. I suppose maybe he was being ironic, but I feel like he wasn't like being very ironic. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, very good book. But yeah, sadly, it's a written by a Norwegian author. Pretty sure it's not been translated to other stories, to other languages. I suppose if you're Danish or Swedish, I suppose if you're American or English, some people like you do this. And if you know Norwegian, pick out this book because yeah, very good, very funny book, I would say. Though yeah, then again, no, then again, a warning. It came out in 2006, so either get it used or get it from a library because I'm pretty sure it's out of print at the moment. So yeah, there's that. Then I also decided to go with The Secret Chapter by Genevieve Cogman. It's a reread for me, so I read it, finished it on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, and I read it for Austria because like like the middle of this book takes place in Vienna, well that's alternative Vienna, but yeah, Vienna more the same. And yeah, very much enjoyed this. It was quite fun to be back in this world. I was like, because had it slightly on TBR, I thought like maybe I'll use, maybe I won't, maybe I won't. It's kind of weird because I did, yeah, I reread this one because, but like it's the third to last in a series. So like I reread this book, but I haven't reread the other books in quite a while. So like it felt slightly off in me. Like I don't know, should I have reread the other books first? Can you reread one book in a series, but not all of them? I suppose that's an interesting question for you guys. Can you do that? Is that something people do? Like me, for most part, when I reread books or like when I reread series, I mostly reread the whole series. If I don't, like I reread the first book, plan to reread the whole series, and then I kind of don't. But yeah, I didn't do it for this one because yeah, time and stuff. But yeah, very much enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Of course, it's one of my favorite series, and yeah, I wouldn't pick it up if I didn't know was gonna enjoy it. So yeah, and done. So yeah, there's actually yeah, also yeah, funny bits. But until like right last Friday, I was convinced there was 2 weeks left of Eurovisionathon because like usually Eurovision takes place around like the 19th, 18th, or the 20th of May. This year, 14th of May, so it's a week earlier. Well, it's a week earlier. I don't really know if if the rules are like that. You should have like that there should be the third week of May, and that this week is the third week of May. But it's not. It's the second week of May. I'm not really sure what the rules are around that. Maybe it was the date that mostly worked for UK, and it's in UK this year because of the war. I'm not sure. But yeah, so yeah, as I said earlier this video, Eurovision, the final, uh, is this week, not next week. So I suppose, yeah, I don't have a lot of time to finish the TBR, and yeah, I had planned to read more books. I did ask for more tips on Friday, and I'm thinking like, I don't know if I'm gonna read all that many books. But yeah, I have some books that I plan to read. So, for example, I have not read something for France yet, and I suppose with my TBR, I was kind of like a bit all over the place because I read books from like kind of like countries that was easy to find. Like I've started a book from based around Sweden, and yes, Loreen is kind of some people like really very much love her new song. Yeah, I think she's their favorite. I don't love it, but I think it's a good enough song. I feel like okay, I suppose I could read a book from Sweden. And I have some books that were on my TBR, and then I had some books that were like, you know what, I wanted to read like I read this book for Austria because like I wanted to read from Austria because I love the song from Austria. Um, so yeah, I love France, the song from France, évidemment, this year. So I'm gonna read something based on France. I did finish a book yesterday that might use the France, like if I don't finish on this, but I have also options. So I might pick up President's Hat by Anton Lora. So this is a book under 200 pages. It's a bit of a funny book about like um hat that it gets like swift away by the wind, and the owner of the hat is kind of trying to find it again. And yeah, I've heard quite a lot of fun things about this one, but also the fact that it's quite short and like it's by a French author. It takes place in France. Yeah, takes place in Paris. So yeah, in the 80s. So yeah, quite a good option for France. If I for some reason don't pick up this one, I could also go with Stepsister or Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. It's a remix of Cinderella, and I feel like yeah, Cinderella one of the most famous versions of Cinderella is the Charles Perrault version, which Charles Perrault was a French. Was he author or did he collect this again? Yeah, he wrote or he collected that version of Cinderella, and yeah, he was French, so yeah, could do this one also. I've had it as like a arc for years. Forgot to read it. Yeah, yeah, that happens. And then yeah, as I said, I already also have a book for Sweden, Solskin of Parmesan. It's not a big book at all. I've started slightly yesterday. So far, I'm very much enjoying it. So I'm thinking, yeah, I might finish this one before the end of the readathon. And I'm also reading The Ultimate Book of Heroic Failures by Stephen Pyle. It's an amazing read. So it's just all about like these small fun facts or like anecdotes about people from all over the world because it's not just in one place all over the world. A lot of it is in UK, quite a lot of it's in US. Is that because people in US or UK are idiots? Not necessarily, but yeah. So yeah, it's just like stories of like people, like one story is like the guy who lost the most boxing matches while being a professional boxer, and yeah, and then there was like a guy who uh like a story about least successful uh murder attempts because his wife tried to kill him several times and he survived them all, and the wife in the end ended up going to prison for attempting to kill him, and then when she came out of prison he like, I love you. Why would you still love your wife then? I don't know, it's a bit weird, but yeah, it's very funny. And at the very end of it here, so yeah, I'm quite definitely gonna finish it before the end of the readathon. I have like 10, 20 pages left for this one. so not a lot. I think I might use this one for Australia because I don't know for Australia. Yeah, because there's some Australian things in here. And yeah, and then I feel like I have something. Yeah, and then last but not least, I have "Somewhere in the Crowd" by Katrina Logan. This is a fiction story based around Eurovision, as you might have guessed. It's here, and of course you kind of guessed the idea, like from 4 people, 12 years, one Eurovision, and it's not a long story at all. Came out this year. Uh, Sorry. Yeah, definitely a book I want to read. I think I might read it like maybe I'll start it on Tuesday as like a fun read before like the last semifinal. Maybe I'll read it on some Sunday. Maybe as like a last read and then not sure. And then we have Eurovision updated version, which is all about like a kind of factly non-fiction book, all about the different finals and yeah, stories around Eurovision. And yeah, and that's kind of like it. Yeah, I'm also going now to the library because I decided to to give back some books and then uh, get at least one new book. And yeah, I suppose FYI, in case you're interested, I plan to maybe read this for France. I started yesterday. Honestly, this author's writing style is not jamming with me at all, so I DNF'd it. Yeah, so right straight back to the library. I also had The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski, which is in the Witcher book series. Love the TV series. The book series, well, the book, I I gave it one paragraph. Paragraph. See that metrics, but yeah, I gave it one page. I feel like I don't know. He just kind of describes like this woman's breasts so beautiful and firm. Like I'm not here for that. So yeah, no. But, you know, and then I also have Kunsten å fake. I've been wanting to read this quite a while. I started during the weekend actually, and I kind of felt like, you know what, I'm not going to be in the mood for this. And also, it's not a non-fiction. I've read quite a lot non-fiction. I kind of want to read more fiction. So yeah. Udødelighetens historie. I tried to get like plan to read it for Eurovisionathon, and then it just kind of sat there like on my table. I didn't pick it up at all. Yeah, so many books, so little time. The same book, same story for this one. Finnes filosofien. So many books, so little time. So yeah, some things to read when I get the mood and get the time. So yeah, some bit more reading will happen. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this little update. And yeah, if you have thoughts, comments, questions, talk to me down below. And I'll see you soon. Bye.